Welcome to the first episode of the Newy Tech Jobs Update for 2021. In this episode, we're talking about the results of January 2021, of which we've seen 110 jobs posted on Seek in the Newcastle tech scene. So, what we do on these updates for anyone that hasn't caught an episode before, quick overview of what's being posted on Seek Newcastle technology jobs, and try and compare that to what's been going on in the past. So 110 jobs for our market is down 15% year on year and up about 14% month on month. So month on month increase, not surprising whatsoever. January is obviously more busy than December. Companies stop posting roles in December just because of hiring over Christmas period. Makes it quite difficult. You're having to onboard people if you do get them signed before Christmas, and people going on holidays and such make things a bit difficult. December always a little bit lower. January and February is probably where we could start to kick off, particularly in February. I think January there's a lot of people still coming back on board, or having some people come back on board first week of January, some people second week, and then it doesn't really kick off until after Australia Day long weekend. So 110 jobs, not a bad result, down 15% year on year. What that sort of says is the prior year we were really humming along. I think the last 3 years we've all sort of been continuing to grow pre-COVID. COVID's had an effect, but what we are seeing is definite resurgence from there. I think the back end of last year we were looking strong. I think the results of January, I wouldn't read too much into that year on year fall. I think we are going to continue to grow. I think February will be a really strong month, and the year coming will be positive for the Newcastle technology scene. The type of roles being advertised, there tends to be, at the moment, demand across the board. Only sort of roles that we aren't seeing a great deal of hiring in is at the support stage. So like those level 1, level 2, those help desk type roles, there's not a great deal of advertisement in that space at the moment. Where we are seeing demand, definitely software developers, no surprises there. I'm pretty well repeating myself month on month saying that. Where there's been some real significant rises, there's a bit in the UX space. There's a bit in the DevOps space. There's at least 4 roles going in Newcastle at the moment in the DevOps space. In particular, people that have got sort of some scripting background or a dev background would be ideal. AWS is definitely the most popular cloud platform of choice in Newcastle. So I would say there's definite demand in there. If people have got an interest in that space, experience there's opportunities there for you at the moment. And then we've really very, very happily seen a rise in the project space. So during COVID, we've seen a lot of budgets get stripped, which led on to a lot of projects getting stripped or put on hold. So the demand for BA and PMs really dried up during COVID. But for the first time in a while, at least 6 months, we've seen a really nice growth in the rise for BAs and PMs in Newcastle. So those type of roles are definitely growing. In particular, people that have got experience with software projects. So if you've worked in and around software development teams, if you know a software development practice, you've worked end to end there. PMs and BAs in that space are definitely in demand at the moment. In continuation, there's testing roles that we've been placing within the last month, as well as in that UX space. So it's across the board, I would say, there's really solid growth and demand across the board, with the only gap being in support. And for the first time, we've seen quite a bit of a rise in that temp and contract space, and that does tie into obviously the project space growing. A lot of the project roles are hired on either short-term, fixed-term, or longer-term contracts there, and we're definitely seeing a rise in that, so that PM, BA space in the contracting. And for the first time in a long time, tying in with those rise in the projects is a rise in contracting and temp roles. So last year was super permanent heavy in our offerings out there for Newcastle technology professionals. Most roles hired were being in that sort of that permanent fashion. But with the rise in projects, we're definitely seeing those rise in both short-term contracts, so that it's mid to longer-term fixed-term contracts and some longer-term 12-month contracts out there. And that is definitely driven by the PMs and BAs there, but we're also seeing some testing roles, some UX roles in that sort of contracting space. So nice for a bit of a rise in there for those looking for contract roles. So overall, 15% down year on year, but I wouldn't read too much into it. I think the market sentiment's definitely more positive than that. I think there's a lot of companies looking to hire. February already is feeling really strong. We're definitely in a candidate short market. So we at Newy Tech people definitely aren't posting all of our roles that we're recruiting on Seek. If you're a technology professional looking at what 2021 might bring for you, looking at new opportunities, definitely reach out to us. I would say there's a mid to high chance there will be other opportunities out for you that we might be able to help with. Thank you for this short update. We will be back for the February update at the start of March. Cheers.